had suggested this book, and I can see why. The name of it is How Rocket Learned to Read. Is it possible that Oberon knows how to read? I wonder. Rocket learned to play. Oh, he loved to play so much, and he loved to chase leaves and chew sticks, and he loved to listen to the birds sing. He did. Every fall morning, after chasing the leaves, Rocket would lie down in his favorite spot under his favorite tree, and he'd sniff all the neighborhood smells, and then he would settle in for a good nap. But one day, a little yellow bird startled Rocket. "Aha, my first student, wonderful," she sang. Rocket was very confused. "Student? I'm not a..." "But if I am your teacher," the bird interrupted, "you must be my student." Rocket found it hard to argue with this bird. "I'm so glad you saw my sign," the bird chirped. Oh, yes, I can see it, but I don't know how to read." "You can't read? Fantastic. Ah, welcome to my classroom." "But I just came here to nap," Rocket said. No napping in class," declared the bird, except, of course, during nap time. The sign says, "Class starts today." "Well then, I can take a nap over here," said Rocket. "I've had a very busy morning." "Not to worry, I'll be around every day," chirped the bird, "until the weather turns." As Rocket breathed in the crisp air, the little yellow bird hung up her banner. "Ah, the wondrous, mighty, gorgeous alphabet," she marveled, "where it all begins." And sure enough, the ABCs right through to Z. Opening up a book, the bird began to read, and she sang out the story of an unlucky dog named Buster who had lost his favorite bone. A cool breeze carried her lively voice across the yard. At first, Rocket was disturbed. But before long, he found himself captivated. To Rocket, the story was as delicious as those early morning smells of fall. It was as exciting, sure, as chasing leaves. He closed his eyes and he listened to every word. As Buster dug and dug under a lilac bush, the bird read, he felt something familiar. Rocket waited. Was it the bone, he wondered? Silence. Was it the bone, he called to the bird? More silence. Was it the bone, he shouted. Suddenly, he was rushing to the tree. Well, what was it? But the yellow bird was gone. The next morning, Rocket arrived early. At last, the little yellow bird appeared. "Hello, how wonderful to see you in class," she said. "I can tell by your tail that you are very well rested." "I'd like to hear the end of the story, please," said Rocket, very, very politely. "Well, that seems like a fine way to start the day," chirped the bird. She gave Rocket a name tag, said Rocket, and began to read. Every day, Rocket would return to the little yellow bird's classroom. In the morning, she would teach him a new letter until he had learned all of the wondrous, mighty, gorgeous alphabet. Together, they would sing out the sounds of each of the letters, and they would spell them and work them all around. With a G and many R's, they spelled grrr. That's that dog there. And they spelled the sound of the wind, which was growing colder by the day. Ooh, ooh. Soon they were spelling words like F-A-L-L for the gusty time of year, and R-E-D for the color of the leaves. Every afternoon, the bird would read a story. She would read stories about dogs and birds, and about leaves changing colors, and birds flying south for the winter. Then, one day, the weather turned and the letter banner, the alphabet letter banner, disappeared. "See you again in the glorious spring," the bird sang. And as she flew away into the wintry sky, she called, "Don't forget, Words are built one letter at a time. Well, the days grew shorter and the leaves fell from the trees and the grass became crunchy, and soon Rocket's classroom disappeared under the snow. He remembered the little yellow bird's alphabet and he practiced his letters every day. Rocket thought about the bird's sweet voice, and while he sounded out all the words like D-I-G, dig, W-I-N-D, wind, and C-O-L-D, cold. He made new friends and he spelled their names. Hello, Emma. Hi there, Fred. He spelled everything. S-U-N-M-E-L-T, melt. When Rocket spelled M-U-D, he knew that spring, as it always does, had returned. The breeze blew warmer and the grass grew greener, and a sign appeared. Class starts tomorrow. Early in the morning. The next morning, Rocket rushed to the classroom. As he waited, he spelled W-A-G, which is wag. Soon, the little yellow bird arrived. Ah, my star student, she sang. How wonderful to see you. I can tell by your tail that you are ready for class. Together, they began to read, and they read stories about birds that flew north in the spring, and they read about picnics in the sun, oh, the warm sun. And they read about Buster, remember that dog from the very beginning, that lucky dog who found his bone under a lilac bush. And when they were done, they would read it again and again, and A-G-A-I-N, again. Oh, I love the story. What a great story. And I hope you're learning how to read, Oberon. Maybe you know already. Well, let's see. We're going to sing a happy birthday to Rachel. Yes, to Rachel. Let's find out. Everybody's been voting. I have the book now so we can tell. All right, for chocolate, we have Molly, Allison, and Jolene, James, Anna, and Maeve, Wesley and Teddy, Ben and Bee, Bevy and Henry, Riley, Tate, Coco, Sophia, India, and Orion. We have the Schuyler sisters, Eliza and Peggy and Angelica, all for chocolate. For vanilla, we have KJ and Scarlett and Rafa and Rocky, and Joseph. Oh no, Joseph voted chocolate, I'm sorry. And Christopher, his brother, voted vanilla. Harris, yes, and his sister Maya. I saw Maya today. She was in Story Hour. Marta, Graham, Audrey, and Lila. And Hudson and Marlo. Maxine, Lulu, Frida, Carson, and Nora. And Annabelle and Kira. All right, let me count. All right, 18 for vanilla. And 19 for chocolate. Okay, Rachel, it's a little bit more chocolate for you. A little, just a teeny bit. Hope you like chocolate. All right, let's sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rachel. Happy birthday to you. All right. Thank you, cameraman Dan. And thank you, Oberon. I love this story. It was great. And remember, I love you all very, very much.